Namaskaram, my dear masters, my dear gods. Welcome to Meditation Magic. To begin with, my humble salutations to Pitamaha Patriji, Swarnamala Patriji, and all the seen and unseen masters. So we will continue with our discussion, meditation and conscious living. So 3 more days to go. I have made an attempt to keep my experiences in mind and what all were the hindrances in my life and how I overcome them to turn myself into a more joyful and a peaceful being. So I have made a sincere attempt, and what are all the, in case you see any mistakes in these presentations, those mistakes are personally mine, but what all the wisdom you get through these videos is the wisdom is directly from the masters. There is nothing personal about me. So with that, we will continue with yesterday's topic. Yesterday we were discussing that the role of conflicts in our life. We usually say that to avoid conflicts for a peaceful life. But whereas we often see there are conflicts at every step of day-to-day life. In sometimes moment-to-moment basis also, sometimes the conflicts are a natural part of our existence, as everybody has their own perception based upon their environment and their brought up and their inheritance of their understanding. So from this, how do we deal with conflicts? First of all, we should have a very positive approach towards conflict. The diagram we showed yesterday, it would be nice to watch that diagram once again. I will share that so that you can understand better. So in this figure, we see that 0 is the conscious level of a dead person and 1000 is the conscious level of fully enlightened being. In between are various emotions due to the gaps in our level of consciousness. So from this, how do we consciously increase our level of consciousness? We can do that very easily. How is that? By now, we understand that guilt, hurt, shame, anger, these are all lower types of complaints wherein our level of consciousness is at a very low level. So in this only comes our complaints, right? So when you judge, you despair, and you have so many, because of the opinions, you are not able to live a complete joyful life, right? So now our attempt is to consciously increase our level of consciousness. So every day we resolve that I would increase my level of consciousness. I will work on all the areas wherein I need to pay attention and increase my level of consciousness. For example, today I encounter some complaints, I encounter some conflicts. At that time, what happens? Conflict is happening because of some expectations, right? And that is why we use our awareness to understand what is happening within us, and by choice we move on to higher levels of consciousness. So by resolving the conflicts, what is happening there is we are moving from optimism. So first approach is we don't avoid conflicts. So avoiding conflicts, you are fully prepared. When you are unprepared, we ask you to avoid conflicts, so adjust, so that you can adjust. Adjusting is a very positive quality. So now we see that there is a positive role for conflicts also. For example, in the office, wherein there are huge projects to deal with, at that time we need other people, everybody's opinion in the project, so that we arrive at the best project, which is ideal in budget and ideal in quality also, right? So how do we arrive at that one single's opinion? If everybody, single person's opinion, if everybody is agreeing to that, then there is no looking of its quality, its budgeting and everything, right? So it is very important to have conflicts, but those conflicts should not be taken personally. So without getting into personal and emotional state, we can deal with the conflicts properly. So for example, if there is a conflict between close relationship, personal relationships at home, how do we deal with that? There we use honesty. You tell you express yourself properly, you explain yourself properly. For example, as simple as a case of two friends, one wants to eat pizza, one wants to eat a salad. So this is giving rise to conflict again, right? So how do they deal with it? Do they break their friendship, or one will compromise? So healthy compromise, healthy balance brings about us in a neutral state of emotions. Sometimes if we don't consciously move into neutral state of emotions, what happens is we enter into resentment or inner anger or inner hatred, and one whose opinions have not considered at all, they may feel disrespectful. These are all the emotions which push us into lower levels of consciousness, right? Once we have understood this very level of consciousness pyramid, it is our prime responsibility to move our own level of consciousness to higher levels. So this should be our resolution, conscious resolution of moving higher in the pyramid of level of consciousness. So by this, we notice that every step we need to do introspection and contemplation on this. We should be honest in expressing ourselves. And one more thing, how we can resolve our conflicts is better communication. Better communication. And personally, you resolve to adjust with every person, even though they are very difficult persons. So if you resolve that I will adjust to this person, though it is difficult for me right now to adjust, when you approach that person with this attitude, you will appreciate some quality in that person, then the conversation will be very positive, because you have already prepared for to face the conflicts you will receive from the opposite end. And to explain these conflicts in a better way, we can use this number 6, right? If the number 6 is seen from the two opposite person, it looks like first, the person opposite looks like 9, right? So the person who is standing at this side, the same number is appearing as 6. So you don't know why that person is conflicting with us. So we need to understand and resolve the conflicts in a better way. And one more thing is, I will share a story here. There was a farmer who had few sweet puppies. So he thought he has many puppies. So he would decide that he would sell those puppies. So he was putting a sale board in his farm. At that time, before the board is ready for execution or whatever, he sees a child approaching him. The child has seen the puppies from far and is asking this farmer, can he have a puppy? At that time, the farmer says, yes, because the puppies are for sale anyways, he can take the puppy. So what's happening? But the farmer needs some money, right? So he's asking the boy money. Then the boy empties his both the pockets and says he has few coins. Will this be enough to see the puppies at least? So the farmer is very much impressed by his interest and he shows the puppies. When he shows the puppies to him and all the puppies are running towards the boy, there's one puppy who has a little bit problem in his hip bone, and that puppy was like crawling. So this boy, without even second thought, asks for the puppy which is handicapped. The farmer is surprised and he gives a piece of advice. Why do you want that puppy? That puppy will not play with you and not respond to you as much as these puppies are running behind you. The boy is still sticks on to his decision to have that same puppy. As he takes off his one of the um, leg and shows that to that farmer, that boy has a prosthetic leg. So he tells the farmer that that puppy needs a person who understands. So in our life, in the society, there is a need of people who understand. So who are willing to understand. Willingness and understanding are the qualities of a person who is vibrating at higher level of consciousness. So it's a very positive quality. We should all make a resolution to become more understanding and more adjusting, more accepting, more grounded, or staying at neutrality. From this, we can move up the ladder of consciousness and we can be more peaceful and joyful. So, adjustment is a very important quality to resolve the conflicts. And one more thing which is very important in resolving the conflicts is proper communication. What is proper communication? Means the communication which is very pleasing or at least neutral. The communication should never be hurtful to other persons. This is called as Syadvad Vani in Hindi language. It's very popular in Jainism. The Jain concept, Jains have this concept, Syadvad Vani, Syadvad Vartan, Syadvad Manan. What is meant by Syadvad Vani is the way you talk, it should be very polite and pleasing. And next is our behavior also should be very polite and pleasing. It shouldn't be hurtful to others. The third one is thought. Even in our thoughts, our thinking should be very grounded and accepting everybody's viewpoint and willing to accept everybody's viewpoint. And also in our practical life, if you have to deal with certain things, we can deal in practical life that is required for the projects or anything to deal with, but without hurting the others. We can be explaining as far as possible. We should have an intention of having conflict free life, but we are not avoiding conflict, as conflicts help us to get the work done in a better way. So it is like very much like it seems to be contradictory, but with proper understanding, we can resolve the conflicts and accept the conflicts at the same time. And also sometimes normal we can use like conflicts as a thermostat. From some scale, desired conflict for healthy execution of projects. But when the conflicts are moving beyond, at that time we should cut off the conflict. So that thermostat we should use by our own self, and the situations you are facing practically, depending upon that, up and down, it happens. So based upon that, we can adjust everywhere. For example, there's a generation gap, we say, right? So if we belong to some other generation, or if we are belonging to some other community, that time it is very important to respect others' viewpoint. And in the family, sometimes during watching TV, do all the family members like the same show, or there is a conflict? So how do you resolve the conflict? Or it's like nowadays, it's like every room has a TV and there is no conflict. So that is also very popular, but we should strike at a regular balance. So also the thing is, we do not consider others as wrong, because there's a story of some blind men and the elephant, right? So the men are blind, and when they are observing the elephant, one person touches the tail of the elephant and says it's a rope. One person gets to touch the trunk of the elephant, and that person describes the elephant as a huge snake. And one person is touching the legs of the elephant and he feels it's a huge pillar. One person is touching the body, stomach of that elephant, and he sees the elephant like a huge wall. And one person gets to touch the tusk of the elephant, who describes it as a sword kind of weapon. And one person touches the ears of the elephant and he sees that it's a huge fan. So who is right and who is wrong? How can we bring that communication in the blind men? It's like when they come together and they discuss together, they may arrive at a conclusion. They all got to touch different parts of the same animal. So this way, we try to resolve the conflicts. So the next thing is, what to say? Do you have any questions, so that I'll take up a subject today for today, because I don't want to start a new subject. Any new subject? Okay, I will take up. You have anything?
No.
Okay, I will take up another subject, like this same judgment can be viewed in other perspective. Means we should never label others as wrong based upon this story, right? In that blind man and the elephant, everybody is right. So before labeling a person as wrong, we should be very well aware that there are different perceptions on the same subject. Using this as base, we decide that everybody is right in this world. When you approach each and every being with this base as everybody is right, at that time you don't discriminate between people. Why should we not discriminate people? We are always coming with that same base. I move all the subject, because the truth is always has two phases. One is subtle and one is the physical. At the subtle level, we never discriminate between people. We treat everybody as God, because at the conscious level, everyone is the consciousness itself. But when it comes to our physical dealings, we deal with the physical capabilities of the people. Based upon the capabilities, we move on. But here, this physical part I'm not talking. I'm talking about our subtle existence, because we suffer more at the subtle level, right? We discriminate between people, we have so many opinions, expectations, so many things happening in the mind at the subtle level. And there we keep on creating so much of negativity, anger, hatred, resentments, all is coming at the lower level of the consciousness pyramid. So our effort consciously is to move on to higher levels of consciousness. And also, this is the best gift we can give to the world, because Dr. David Hawkins says that there are more than 80% of the people in the world whose level of consciousness is less than 200. Means people are suffering internally. So in such a society, what is the possibility of people staying happy? So it's very important that we all come together, we all take responsibility, and we resolve to spread only joy and peace in the families. As a result, when our family is very peaceful and joyful, in the community, we can spread joy. So it's our prime responsibility to make this society a more joyful and peaceful. So that is why this level of consciousness topic becomes very, very important. I repeat that the whole suffering is due to only ignorance. We forget that we are divine beings to have experience of humans, right? So, but we are humans trying to become divine. It is not like that. We are already divine beings. We are just having an experience of human life. So this is why it's important to constantly keep a reminder of that we are the divine beings. So that is why we meditate, we focus on our breath to remind us that we are that divine consciousness, and inside we are that blissful consciousness within. So to get in touch with that blissful consciousness every day, twice a day minimum, we should keep on focusing on the breath. We should dedicate our time to meditation or focusing on the breath. With this being said, let us sit for focusing on the breath, Anapanasati meditation, sitting in a relaxed position, fingers crossed, with a beautiful smile on the face, with bliss in the heart. We focus on the breath with the music. Enjoy the process of breathing with the Last few minutes. Let us share our goodwill with all the beings of the universe. May all beings of the universe be happy, be peaceful, be healthy, and be liberated. May all beings of the universe be peaceful, be joyful, be healthy, and be liberated. May all beings of the universe be peaceful, be joyful, be healthy, and be liberated, and be liberated, and be liberated. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham shantirbhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. మా కశ్చిత్ దుఃఖభాగ్భో లోకా సమస్తా సుఖినో లోకా సమస్తా సుఖినో లోకా సమస్తా సుఖినో. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. Slowly rub your hands. Gently place them on your eyes. Come out to the present moment with beautiful smile, in peace, in joy, in great abundance. Thank you. Thank you for joining and sharing your energies with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have to
Thank
say
you.
something, you can unmute yourself and say. So, any interesting topics, Auntie? Last 3-4 days left, I think. Further, that we encounter daily, that we need to see a little bit, elaborate. Anything else I have missed? So, who is this iPhone? Yeah, you can talk, Auntie. You were saying something?
నేనా మెడిటేషన్కే అటెండ్ అయ్యా నేను. దీంట్లో చూస్తా టైం అనుకుంటా.
Okay.
అంత పూర్తిగా వినలేదు. మెడిటేషన్ మాత్రం బాగా కుదిరింది.
Yeah, today we talked about conflicts. Yesterday we were trying to say that it's better to avoid conflicts in day-to-day personal life. Again, I wanted to know that in organizations, sometimes a certain level of conflict is required to get best results of some worldly affairs we need. So at that time, conflicts are welcome, but again, they should be resolved with honesty and holding on to without getting into emotional imbalance. We need to handle them properly, not taking personal. Yeah.
కాకపోతే ఎమోషనల్ గా ఉండటం కూడా తగ్గుతుంది క్రమేణా.
With meditation, with this commitment to meditation, we become aware and conscious, and all this from negativity we move on to optimism, positive life.
అంటే ఎమోషన్స్ ఇది నెగిటివ్స్ తీసివేయటంతో పాటు ఎమోషనల్ గా ఫీల్ అవటం కూడా కొద్దిగా తగ్గుతున్నట్లు అనిపిస్తుంది. అది
you become practical.
అంతకుముందు అయితే మరి ఎమోషనల్ గా వాయిస్ లో చెప్పేటప్పుడు అంత డిఫరెంటేషన్ ఉండేది.
Identification is now released. Before coming into meditation, we saw that ourselves as physical body too much.
Yes.
But now that being little bit, we stopped giving priority, not that much priority, only as much needed. We used to give too much priority to our body. Now our own identification. Now we don't fight for that identity anymore. We are slowly
అదే అంటే మనం చెప్పింది నాలా ఇట్లాంటివన్నీ కూడా ఉన్నాయి కదా, అవి కొద్దిగా కాస్త క్రమేణ అంటే ప్రాక్టికల్ గా చెప్తున్నా. ఇప్పుడు దీంట్లో మనది చెప్పాలి కదా ఫస్ట్ గురువు. అంటే చెప్పితే అబ్బా! మనం ఎంత బాగా చెప్పామా అని అనుకోవాలా అనేది ఫస్ట్ వీడియో తీశాను. అప్పటికి రెండో దానికి ఇట్లా ఆ కొద్ది సేపట్లోనే ఎమ్మటెమ్మటే తీస్తున్నా కదా! క్రమేణా కొద్దిగా తగ్గుతా
సెల్ఫ్
వస్తున్నాయి. ఇట్లా చేయటం కూడా బాగుంది. అది ఏంటంటే ఎక్కువసారి ఇట్లా చెప్పామనంటే యెస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హెల్ప్ టు మీ.
ఓకే. ఓకే. ఓకే అండి.
షార్ట్
I'll just
కొద్దిగా.
end
హ్మ్.
as we are running to the time.
హ్మ్. యెస్.
So thank
Okay.
you for participating.